Hey guys, so today we're filming a video that I should have filmed a while ago, but now because of the news happening in the beauty community, I think this is the perfect time to do it. So today we're doing a full face of Becca cosmetics, as you can see from the title. And if you're wondering why is this the good time to film the video, it's because Becca's actually closing down in September. They're not going to be selling any more products after September, so this is your time to buy any backups if you wanted to. I think for backups, the only thing you could really possibly buy is powders, like any powder products, blushes, bronzers, highlights. Any liquid stuff, just find a new favorite because they're going to expire before you even get to it and it will stink and it will mess up your skin. So definitely, you know, only powders, but don't buy too many in bulk. But I have a full face, so if you wanted to try anything and you find it somewhere in stock, then just, you know, go for it. I've got a few pretty exciting things. I think I've only ever tried 3 products from Becca, 2 of them pretty recently before I found out they were closing down, and then one, it was a highlight, of course. It was one of my first like grown-up highlights. I used to only ever use like, if I found like an eyeshadow that was sparkly, I would like put it on my cheek and something, but this was my first like actual grown-up highlight, and it was this one. I can't remember what it's called, but it was this one. It had like a funny design on it, and I've never tried champagne pop, so today's gonna be my first day trying champagne pop. And I actually, even before trying it, I'm gonna get into it. I bought 2. I bought a full size and I bought one that was like an ornament for Christmas that was on sale. So I bought a big size just because, I don't know, it feels just like a piece of like makeup YouTube history. So I just want to keep it around for as long as possible. I don't know if I'm crazy for doing that. Let me know. Here's my TikTok, my Instagram, and my puppy's Instagram. My drama channel will be in description. Subscribe, hit that bell, like, comment for engagement. And if you don't, you will step on an upturned plug and it will really hurt. I've been doing this thing where I threaten people with very big inconveniences so that they actually like and comment on my videos. So here's your inconvenience for today. If you're from the UK, you know the plugs are like flat, so you can actually step on them. I don't know if that's the same in America, but if it's not, then you will step on a Lego. So let's get into it. I have clean brushes, which I'm very excited about. They're all washed, so we get a good idea of how these products work. I have this like patch here. I have no clue what it is, and I had a spot the size of a mountain, so let's hope for the best here. I bought a bunch of things on Feel Unique because they had a lot of sales, but I couldn't, there were no eyeshadow palettes, and I thought Becca just didn't do eyeshadow palettes. Turns out they did one, which was this one, and I found it on ASOS, and also found a full-size champagne pop on ASOS, even though on all the other websites, like all the other retailers, all of the popular shades are already sold out. So I have a mini champagne pop, a mini Lilac Geode, and then a full-size champagne pop. So I'm very lucky. This is the palette. I think the packaging's stunning. It doesn't really have many mattes, but I'm one of those girls that puts shimmers in the crease. I don't really care. I think it looks a little bit underwhelming. However, when you get up close, like these are duochromes. These remind me, I haven't swatched anything, but these in the center remind me of the new Charlotte Tilbury formula. She released these like Hollywood filter eyeshadow palettes that have like a baked formula, and that's what these look like. And then these are pressed. This is a white to pink shift and a white to blue shift. I think this could be quite nice actually. I'm actually kind of excited. And I'm really sad about Becca going under. I have this whole plan where I'm going to talk to you guys about Becca a little bit while I do my makeup. I have like a little bit of a plan. I know some people are doing like full-on videos about why Becca went under. I'm not an expert in marketing or brands or finances, so I can't sit here and tell you exactly why Becca went under. Like I'm not sure why, but I can kind of tell you guys from a consumer perspective kind of what went wrong in my opinion and why people stopped giving Becca the hype that it probably deserved. Anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so I have this spray which is supposed to be prime and set, but I'm just going to use this as a setting spray, and then I have a backlight priming filter. I bought the travel size because I feel like I have so many liquid products that are all gonna expire before I get to them, so I try to buy travel sizes where possible. I don't know how much of this I'm gonna need. It looks like MAC strobe light primer, MAC strobe something. Oh yeah, it's got like a nice luminosity to it. This is pretty much exactly like that MAC one. So if you're not fussed about cruelty-free products, because MAC isn't cruelty-free, and this is your favorite primer, then try the MAC one. I think it's very similar. I don't have too many alternatives planned. It's just, that's the first thing that came to my mind. I think the way Becca started was a very high. Like they set very high standards for themselves with Champagne Pop. I think Champagne Pop set an unhealthy precedent for them where they had something to live up to that was just like they couldn't do it. Like they had this one highlight and they tried to recreate it with Prosecco Pop and something pop, and then they just did different highlights. And I feel like at that point all they were known for was highlights because of Champagne Pop, and they couldn't quite repeat the success of Champagne Pop. Oh, I also got one of these. I got it in a set. It's a Hydra Light Becca Plumping Lip Balm. This one's blue. I hope it doesn't look blue on the lips. Oh, it's really nice. Yeah, that's really nice. It's got a nice smell as well. And it doesn't look blue. So this is actually a really nice lip balm. Their problems, well, their success and problems started from Jack and Hill Champagne Pop. They couldn't quite do that again. I think they were aiming for being an influencer known brand, because I think they went with Jack and Hill and then they tried to do more collabs. They did Chrissy Teigen, they did Chloe and Malika. They just did a lot of like famous people collabs, but they just couldn't like do that Champagne Pop thing again. I know Chrissy Teigen's like first collab with them was also very big. It was like that palette that they did. And I just think when you set the bar that high for yourself, it's just very difficult to live up to it. I think that was partially what went wrong. I can't quite pinpoint it, but Becca seemed to be at the top of their game. Back then you couldn't imagine that Becca would shut down at any point because it was like they were huge. And then I feel like after the Champagne Pop craze and the Chrissy Teigen craze, oh, this concealer is actually very high coverage. I actually kind of am shocked. After that, it just seemed like they ran out of ideas. So like I said, they were known as the like highlighter brand, but the thing about highlighters is you don't actually end up going through one very quickly. So unless you're a big makeup collector like all of us, you don't buy that many highlighters. They didn't really have any basics that people were going to them for, and I think that was the issue. They recently did a collab with Barbie Ferreira, who was on Euphoria. A lot of that stuff is on sale. I just maybe don't think it did as well as maybe they expected it to do. Okay, so I actually covered everything up pretty well. I recently spoke about this and it was a little bit of a fail for me just because the shade's a little bit deep for me, but I'm hoping with the lighter concealer I can balance it out a little bit later on. It's the Light Shifter Dewy Tint they came out with recently. I know people really like the formula, like this is a really good product, but it's just the shade for me. I can't believe this is the lightest shade. It's not very light. Like you can tell that's a bronzing drop for me, but I'm hoping because it's sheer, we can make something work. Oh, I just didn't want to buy a whole foundation knowing that I have a complexion product from Becca because that's just really like wasteful to me. But yeah, I'm hoping we can make this work. Then I know it was a big deal because Estee Lauder, the parent company, took them over. Actually, you know what? This is so sheer that I feel like it looks fine. Okay. I hope it doesn't oxidize any more than this, but it looks really pretty right now. Okay. It seems to be oxidizing a little bit, as you can see. Like, it's a little bit deep, but when you blend it out, it's kind of sheer enough to not get too dark. But yeah, so Estee Lauder took them over and a lot of people said that's when they kind of stopped with the good launches. I don't know if Estee Lauder maybe just didn't have the budget for them to release a lot of stuff or do a lot of marketing. I think because they started out as kind of like an influencer brand, they should have went down that route and really just pushed, like did what Morphe did, aka push codes and do a lot of PR boxes and a lot of that stuff. It just seemed like they started out as a influencer brand with the Jack and Hill collab and that kind of a thing, and then it just kind of died down. And I'm not saying influencers are like the end all be all. I'm going to get into that in a minute with other brands. I think a lot of the time we as makeup consumers on the internet think that anything that's not spoken about on YouTube is failing, when that's usually not the case. There are many people who use makeup but don't watch YouTube content and don't consume, like they don't consume makeup beauty videos. That doesn't make those brands less successful, we just don't really hear about them on the internet. But I think Becca was stuck in a weird in-between where they weren't really known by people off the internet, but then people on the internet stopped talking about them as well. And it puts them in a really weird, uncomfortable situation where they're not releasing enough products to be on PR, like in PR videos, but they're also not releasing enough products where regular people will hear about them. So it just put them in an uncomfortable situation. They were neither here nor there. I think another thing that kind of failed them was 2020 and 2019 was a big eyeshadow craze. I think that's when we turned from highlighters and liquid lipsticks to collecting eyeshadow palettes, right? Like Colourpop showed us that if you release a bunch of eyeshadow palettes, people are still going to buy them because, you know, people on the internet have a bit of a collector's mindset. Becca, other than this eyeshadow palette, I've never seen them release an eyeshadow palette, at least not ones that are still like around on their website. So it just seems like when the craze was highlighters, they did that. And then the craze was liquid lipsticks and they didn't do it. And then the craze was eyeshadow palettes and they didn't do it. It just seems like they stopped following trends after highlighters. Like they couldn't quite figure out how to do other things. And I think that's what kind of started that was like the beginning of the end, I think. So Estee Lauder takes them over. I don't think they have much of a budget because maybe they're just not bringing in as much money, so they can't like do what they want to do the marketing because they just don't have the funds for it, I'm assuming. But I don't know. And then I know a lot of times in anti-hauls, and I catch myself doing that as well. In anti-hauls, everyone will be like, how's NARS still a thing? They keep on releasing the same boring stuff over and over and over again. How's Bare Minerals a thing? They just have like a few products and they don't release anything interesting. How's Urban Decay a thing? They should be like, you know, ending now. And people are kind of, I've heard on Twitter and I've just been like reading around people's opinions. People are saying that because Becca's going under, they're assuming NARS, Urban Decay, Bare Minerals, Too Faced even are going to go under as well. And I just don't think they will. I personally, I don't think they will, because as much as, like I said, being an influencer brand helps because you get the exposure. If you don't start out as an influencer brand, you'll just be a consumer brand and you'll be doing just fine. I think NARS is very popular with just regular people off the internet that buy makeup. So I think NARS will be completely fine. I think Bare Minerals is known as like the basics brand. It's also known as a brand that's used by like first timers in makeup. And there are always going to be first timers in makeup. Like there are going to be new 12-year-olds that are starting out with a new powder foundation every year. There's going to be a new 12-year-old. So I think Bare Minerals, Urban Decay, they're all going to be fine. Even MAC, like I know people are like, oh my god, like if Becca's going under, then MAC's going to go under because they don't release anything interesting. But I think MAC's still, they have the department stores. I don't think they need the influencer marketing anymore, because if they needed it, they would have seeked it out, but they're not seeking it out. So I think MAC's doing just fine without us. And I think that's like the main difference. I think Becca just couldn't pick a side. It's like they wanted to be the influencer brand with champagne pop and they wanted to recreate that hype, but they just couldn't quite do it. So then they tried to be just a regular consumer brand and they also just couldn't do that because there was no basic products that they had to sell people other than highlighters. Of course they have powders and stuff, but they're not as well known as the highlighters. And like I said, how many highlighters do you buy a year? Not many, if you're just a regular consumer. So I think that was their main issue. It's just they couldn't quite pick a direction they were going in. So far, I think my base looks actually really nice. Like, I'm gonna tell you that much. Now that Becca's going under, it's sad because this looks really pretty, actually. Keep Me Close to Keep Me Cool. This is, okay, I remember I really desperately wanted this because Tati tried it out. And she was like, it's the weirdest thing ever. And I was like, please, please, can I try it out? It's the Hydra set. So you're supposed to keep it closed when you're not using it. Yeah, I think that was their main issue. And I think other brands aren't really falling into that issue because they've picked a side that they're on. You're either an influencer brand or you're not an influencer brand. You're not in between. Becca was in between. Becca couldn't quite figure it out. They like wanted the best of both worlds when in reality they had none of the worlds. Oh my God, it's cold. No way. How have I never experienced this? I feel like since like turning 16, I just haven't done like makeup shopping in an actual store. I just buy everything online, so I don't get to like touch things in store. So I never got to experience this whole Hydra set thing. I'm so sad about it. Well, here I am trying it out. It feels, I don't know if I'm okay with this. I feel like I'm setting wet with wet and it's giving me a slight ick. But I mean, it looks really nice, so. Oh my God, how did they do this? Is it just cold? I think it feels wet because it's cold. They've managed to somehow make it cold. I mean, look, it set my under eye really nicely. Look at that. It's done it really well. So it clearly works. It's just giving me a slight ick because I don't like a wet base. I don't like how a wet base feels. Yeah, that looks really nice. Okay. Well, here we are trying something new. So yeah, I just feel like Becca couldn't, you know, figure it out after Champagne Pop. It's like Champagne Pop was everything that they needed to succeed, but also everything that they needed to fail because they just could never do that again. Like, have you heard of a collab for them or a product for them that was as good as Champagne Pop? No. I spoke about this to my parents yesterday when I was like planning this video out. And I was like, I would love to be a fly on the wall when they launched Champagne Pop just to see how much Jaclyn Hill made from this, because I think she sold. I have a feeling that Champagne... Okay, I have a feeling that Jaclyn Hill made more from all of her collabs and products that she has released than she has ever made from AdSense. And I think I kind of know that for a fact. Like, in my head, I know that for a fact. Like, I feel like Champagne Pop, the first Morphe palette, I feel like those made her bank. And they probably still make her bank. Okay, I had another question, right? It used to be called Champagne Pop, and we still all refer to it as Champagne Pop. But it's not Champagne Pop anymore. It's called C-Pop. Does that mean that every time someone buys a Champagne Pop now, the money doesn't go to Jaclyn? Because why else would they change the name if it was like a contract thing? Like, the contract ended, but because it was a successful product, they wanted to keep it around, so they just changed the name for like legal reasons? Is that why it's called Champagne Pop? Because I see no other reason for it to be a different name. Like, if you have a successful product, you want to keep the same name, right? So they just call it C-Pop. Does Jaclyn not make any more money from this? I don't know. Anyway, I really like this product. I like this powder. I think it's actually really nice. I also have their new powder, which I told you guys I really, really like. This is a dupe. Even though it's not much cheaper, I just think, you know, Hourglass is being a bit of a mess right now. This is the Light Shifter Finishing Veil, and I think it's a dupe for the Ambient Lighting powder from Hourglass. It's like a really nice finishing powder that adds a little bit of shine, luminosity. It doesn't make your skin look dry and crusty. It's just really nice. So I'm just gonna set my whole hair up. So yeah, I'm just wondering, like, I would love to be the fly on the wall in meetings where they're discussing how many products they sold and giving Jaclyn her cut. Like, I want to know how much money she made from this. I wonder if anyone but Jaclyn knows. Like, do any other YouTubers, have they been told by Jaclyn how much money she made from Champagne Pop? Because I think it could be millions. I genuinely think, I've seen people before, and I find it the funniest thing in the world. I've seen people before be like, oh my god, why doesn't like Jaclyn post videos on YouTube? Isn't she gonna go broke soon? I'm like, no. Jaclyn Hill's probably one of the richest YouTubers around. Like, not the richest YouTuber, but I think she's got like a bunch of money. She's been doing collabs and makeup collabs ever since the first like time she blew up on YouTube. She did Gerard Cosmetics, she did Morphe, then she did Becca, then she did Morphe, her own brand, Morphe, and now she's got her own brand. Like, she's done a lot of products. I think she could have retired a year ago, 2 years ago, and she would have been perfectly fine. I think after Champagne Pop and the first Morphe palette, she was fine. Codes as well. How much money she made from Morphe codes? A lot. A bunch. I think I'm talking about Jaclyn Hill a lot because when you think of Becca, you think of Jaclyn Hill. They don't go separately. You don't think of Becca without going, oop, Jaclyn Hill, Champagne Pop. It was a moment in history. I was too young. I wasn't wearing makeup when she released Champagne Pop. So I wasn't there for the hype, but like, it's spoken about to this day. That's how big that collab was, which is why I'm saying I want to know how much she made, because I think it was millions. I personally think she made millions of dollars from Champagne Pop and then another millions of dollars from Morphe. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have the bronzed Bondi Sunlit bronzer. I love that all of their powder packaging is in this packaging, like it's all the same vibe. Some people are very upset about Becca going under and they're like taking it upon themselves to try and save them. I don't think we can save them anymore. I think, you know, it's a done deal. Like, they're going under whether we buy back up or not. Like, I don't think you personally can save them. I think they've kind of made their bed and they have to lay in it. This powder is also very nice. This bronzer here, stunning. I mean, what did I expect? Their powders are really nice. They do powder products really well. This is really sad, actually. I think it's emotional for a lot of people and they're like, oh, we need to save Becca, because Becca was like one of the first brands on the internet. Like, it was one of the first hypes that we had. It was like MAC and Too Faced for a while was like a big hype. ABH with the Modern Renaissance. Becca with obviously the highlighters, and everyone was just like going crazy over them. What else? What other brands were like really hyped? NARS for a little while was also very hyped up with the blushes and the bronzers and the like actual brushes as well. KVD, I think Kat Von D did really well for a while with the Shade and Light and the Lock-It foundation. I should have set my base a little bit more because I can feel my brush tugging, so I'm having to blend a little bit more, but I think as a whole this bronzer is really nice. I don't know, it's sad because it's like an end of an era on YouTube. I think it kind of puts in perspective how long ago the successes of some brands and YouTubers were. Like some YouTubers from that era also just don't exist anymore, pretty much. Like they post videos, but they're not as big as they used to be. I think it's wild to me how long Jaclyn Hill has survived, considering all of the scandals, regarding all of the scandals with products and, you know, lies and whatever else. I think it's actually kind of impressive considering the amount of drama that she's been in regarding her integrity and, you know, YouTube as a whole. We have Mineral Blush in Flower Child. Yeah, I think it's impressive that she has stuck around for so long and that she's as successful as she is now. Oh my god, this blush is so nice. Stop. Why hasn't anyone told me that Becca's this good? Okay, why are they going under? Becca, why didn't you just like figure it out? Oh my god, this blush has like the perfect luminosity. It's pink, but it's got like a gold reflex. It looks rose gold on my cheeks. Stop. Becca, this isn't even funny anymore. I'm gonna be one of those people that buys backups, even though I don't need them because I have so much makeup. So I probably shouldn't be buying backups. Oh, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. Okay, this video is turning very emotional right now because I'm just like, I'm enjoying myself with these products. I think it's just sad. Like sometimes you want a brand or a YouTuber to stick around and be successful, but it's up to them really to do that, not you. So we can all be sad for Becca, but we can't save them now. This blush set has such a stunning shade. It just like shimmers from like a beautiful pink to a gold. Probably the most exciting part, guys. I know. I have two of the mini highlights, and then I have these are from like the Christmas collection, which is why they have the purple on the outside, and then I have a big champagne pop that I'm not touching. So I have Lilac Geode and, like I said, C-Pop. This is C-Pop. Do I feel like a 2016 YouTuber right now? Yeah. And then we have Lilac Geode. It's so beautiful. Trust me, Lilac Geode is stunning. Look at these highlights. This is why they were known for highlights and they couldn't quite do this again. Look how beautiful they are. I'm going to use both of them because that's the life I want to live. Champagne Pop. I remember these being very crumbly and very soft, so they're not like ones that I would necessarily travel with because they crack. And once they crack once, you can't save them. Oh my god, guys. This is an emergency. I'm getting emotional. This product's so good. I mean, I just wonder if like really they couldn't financially pull through. Like I would love to see their like earnings reports. Like how much money were they making? How much money were they spending? Where was the issue? Like I also just wonder, like, if you can see that one product's doing well, why don't you, I don't know, it's like, couldn't they have done something right? Like, oh, this product's not working, let's not focus on this, let's focus on something else. Because look at this highlight. They just, I feel like Becca highlights just blend, just like melt into your skin. They don't sit on the surface or anything like that. They just look absolutely stunning on the skin. I feel like I'm holiday ready. Like this is holiday makeup for me. Because it's so glowy and bronzy and stunning. Okay, now I understand the hype with Champagne Pop. It was probably like the first of its kind, where it was like the first blinding highlight and it was golden and dewy. I can see why this was so popular because this is my first time trying Champagne Pop and I get it. I really do get the hype that it had. I'm gonna go with Lilac Geode over top. Just right here. Oh my god. Stop. I'm losing my mind. This is... I mean, can you find highlights like this now? Yeah, sure. Am I still upset about this being gone? Yeah. I feel like this is a very usual case of you don't appreciate what you have until it's gone. Like, we haven't appreciated Becca until it was gone. And now we're all like, oh my god, Becca, come back. I'm going to just set around just so there's no harsh lines. Oh my god, that highlight. I'm gonna go in with just the concealer as primer, eyeshadow primer. They didn't have any brow products either, so I just didn't get any. I've not really been doing my brows lately. I don't know if you guys noticed. I basically just do brow gel and I call it a day. I'm just like, you know, my brows are just such a boring part of the makeup routine. I just can't get behind it. I think this concealer is actually really nice and it seems to kind of set on its own. Like, it's not too dewy, but it's also not dry and clingy. I think it's a really nice concealer. This whole base is just gorgeous. I'm sorry, it just is. I know I should be going like, oh, this product, like, I get why Becca's going under. I understand now. But like, I don't get it, because these products are really good. Why didn't I buy these products when they were still around? Ugh, so angry at myself. I don't think these shadows are supposed to be super pigmented, so I don't really care about having a sticky base or anything like that. I think they're just supposed to be very like pretty light makeup. I know these in the middle are shimmery, but I tend to use those kind of shades on the crease as well, because they're not like actual chunky shimmer, they're just like sheeny. I wonder if I'm gonna be disappointed. I'm gonna use a different brush for this. That brush was an absolute mistake. Why did I do that? Okay. Yeah, this has a very similar formula to that Charlotte Tilbury formula, and many people seem to not like that Charlotte Tilbury formula, because they're like, it's shimmery, but it's not shimmery, and it's not pigmented. But to me, it reminds me of like Glossier makeup, where it just blends out into like a faded, natural... I don't know how to explain it. Like, I just enjoy this kind of, every now and then, like, just not really pigmented makeup. I don't know. See, it kind of blends out into a matte, but not super matte. It's like sheeny, shiny. Right? I'm not. I understand what I'm saying, okay? I get it. At least I understand what I'm saying. I have nothing to complain about here. And this palette was only half off on ASOS. It was originally like 40 something, and I got it for £21, just over. So he was like, oh, that's a steal, let me get it for my video, because I was just not gonna do shadow. And then I was like, oh, okay, let me just grab it. It's not too interesting looking, but like, I'm just gonna grab it and hope for the best. Okay, so I think to split up into like cool tones, warm tones, kind of like, you got like the pinky brownie, and then you've got like a bluey side of like the blue and the pink. I'm gonna go with this shade here, which is just a regular pressed shimmer all over the lid. Not the best, not the worst. Like, it's not the best shimmer I've ever tried. It's kind of lackluster, but for this whole palette, I just think that's kind of the intention. Like, I don't think this is supposed to be revolutionary makeup. I don't think this is supposed to be like chunky, shimmery, beautiful. It's supposed to be just kind of like a wash of a colour, I think. I mean, it doesn't really matter what I say at this point, because it's like they're going under anyway. Like, it doesn't really matter if I give them a good rating or not. Then I'm gonna go in with... Okay, I'm gonna take this like white to pink shift baked highlight, and I mean baked... Oh, this one's more chunky. Oh, no. Oh my god, hold on. Hold on. This changed everything. It's super reflective, and it basically shifts to a hot pink. This changed everything for me. I don't think this is 2021 look. Like, I think you can definitely get this much better nowadays. I think this isn't, you know, incredible eyeshadow, but I think this could work for just a regular audience. Like, I think if they weren't trying to do the whole influencer thing, you know, with like Instagram makeup and YouTube makeup, it's about pigment, it's about, you know, shimmery, glittery, chunky. I think if they were just trying to go for a regular consumer, this palette would have been just fine. Like, oh, a nice wash of colourful work. Nothing, you know, nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing super pigmented or super colourful. Like, I think this could have been an everyday staple for people. And I just think they went for the wrong market and then just couldn't like provide us with the products that we wanted. I think this looks actually kind of nice. It's just like a light wash of pink. Like, I have nothing to tell you guys about this. I'm gonna go in with one of these shades on the inner corner. Like, I don't think this palette is worth the £40. I don't even know if it's worth the £20 for me. I don't know how often I'm going to use this, but actually I think this could have been someone's everyday palette. Like, some lady going to work where she can't wear like super outrageous makeup. I think this could have been it for her. Like, just a very light wash of colour. They also didn't have a mascara, so I'm going to do everything I have and then come back to you guys with mascara and eyebrow gel, and then, you know, we'll talk about where this brand is going, which is kind of nowhere. I also got these 3 lip glosses from the Barbie Ferrero collection because it was also on sale with one of the highlights. It's just 3 lip glosses. I'm going to use the pink. It's in the shade Foiled. Oh, the one's super like bendy. It's like moving around. Oh, that's really nice. That's a really nice gloss. Look how glass-like that is. It's kind of reminding me a tiny bit of Fenty Gloss Bomb. It's got the same like blurring method where it looks like you don't have any lines on your lips. I think it's really nice. Yikes. Yikes on bikes. I forgot to use the setting spray, so I'm going to use it now before I do mascara so it doesn't smudge. This is the Skin Love Glow Shield Infused with Glow Nectar Brightening Hydra Complex. Oh, I'm spraying wonky. I think the spray is decent enough. It's super fragrance though, so just be careful with that. I'm saying this like you guys are gonna go out and buy the product. I don't know if, I mean, if you want to, you can. Like, don't let me stop you. It will all still be linked in the description if I can find it somewhere. But like, it's not like this is gonna be some like long-term video, because if you come back to this in a year's time, like if you're watching this in 2022, the brand's already not around, so that's really sad to say actually. Do I want to add more to the eyes, or do I love the ethereal look. I feel like on camera it looks so washed out, but in person it's got like a unicorn vibe to it. And the highlight is so good. Guys, why did we let Becca just fall under? I think my skin looks really nice. Like, it's got such a fresh look to it. I feel like I look like I just came back from holiday, mainly because the skin tint's a little bit of a wrong shade for me, but it's okay, that's bad. But like to my neck, that's not bad. That is not bad. We let them go under. I'm saying this like this is our fault. It's not our fault that they're going under. I just think it's just really sad actually. I'll do mascara and eyebrows and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just did brow gel, which is the glossy boy brow, and I did the glossy lash slick Hi baby, do you want to say hi? Oh. You're so sleepy. Why are you complaining? Why are you complaining? I'm almost finished, and then we'll go on a walkie. Yes, she doesn't understand the word walkie because we just never said it when we go on a walk with her. So she only gets excited when the leash comes out, but she doesn't really understand walkie, so I can say it without. We just never made that a fun word for her. She doesn't know. It's very unexpected when she goes on a walk. Yeah, you just don't know what it is. Okay, anyway, I did the glossy boy brow with the glossy lash sticks. I think that mascara is so much more natural that I just felt like it went with this look a little bit better. As a whole, not a single dud. You're doing a big yawn. Not a single dud. I loved everything here. I'm very sad Becca's going under. I just think, do you know what's really sad? Do you have anything to say here? Do you know what I think is really sad? It's that they could have really made bank off of this kind of a look, the glowy, natural, glossy, sheer look right now. Like right now, the glossy look is it. Every brand's doing skin tints, every brand's doing low coverage, sheeny, shiny makeup. TikTok is making that makeup so popular now where everyone's just doing a nice, dewy, light makeup. I feel like if they just would have went with that and pushed it harder sooner, they would have probably been fine. So that's the full face of Becca with a little bit of background opinions and knowledge on Becca. Hello, hello, hello. Just a little bit of opinions. I'm not an expert in finances or how brands work behind the scenes. I'm not here to give you that kind of information. I just kind of expressed opinions on what I think went wrong. And as a whole, I think all the products are really nice. If you want to buy any backups, go for it. Be my guest. I think the bronzer, blush, highlight are my favorites. The lip gloss is super nice and it's on sale right now in most places. I think I got some of my stuff on Look Fantastic as well, and they had a lot of like the Christmas stuff on sale. I think the skin tint, if you can find a shade that works for you, is really nice. The light shifter powder, really nice, like the pressed one. The Hydra set, weird. I don't know how I feel about it, but it set my face really nicely. So there's that. And then the highlights, obviously, it's really good. The setting spray is nice. Did I miss anything? Concealer, super full coverage, and I think it just looks really nice with the makeup. And the eyeshadow palette's just an average. That's the one I'm like, ugh, you probably won't like it. I don't mind it because it's just like a wash of color or something, but I wouldn't recommend it for you guys unless you really like basically no pigment. Oh, I forgot the biggest thing. The zero pigment thing. Did that do something good for them, or did that dig them further into the hole that they were already in? I want to know your guys' opinions on Becca and why you think they went under and what they could have done differently to not go under. Like I said, I think if they had done the Glossier thing sooner than now, because I think now there are so many established brands that are Glossier, aka Glossier. I think if they had done it sooner, maybe a year ago, they would have like perfectly fit into the market. And now that that makeup is popular, Becca would have been the go-to brand, and I just think they did it too late. But I want to know what you guys think happened and what you guys think they could have done to fix this. Are you buying any backups? What are your favorite Becca products? And do you have any replacements for people in the comment section for stuff that they could buy instead of Becca products? This was a very nostalgic video for me to film. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comment down below anything you want to comment down below. Subscribe, hit that bell. Links, any other links in the description. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.